How's it going, guys? I hope you're all having a fantastic day. So a while back I picked up these Warhammer miniatures. One is an Astartes and the other is the God Emperor. So because I have never painted any miniature in my entire life, I think we'll go with the Astartes first, because it will be a little bit easier. Just so you can get an idea of how small this model is, the whole thing is probably smaller than my thumb. So let's get started. To do that, I'll need to trim all the sprues so all the parts can come free. Then I'll use some nail clippers to trim any leftover plastic on the model. I did quickly use a little bit of sandpaper to completely smooth it over. For the base coat, I'm using this metallic red automotive paint. I wasn't really able to film the base coat as the parts are just too small, and in low light conditions you couldn't really see anything. For the paint, I'm not trying to do an accurate paint style. I'm just going to try and do it my own sort of way. I think what I'm going to go for is a realistic blood angel. From what I've seen in the 40k mini community, the community standard of painting is more of a cartoonish style. So while I slowly build up my paint layers, I wanted to talk about miniature painting in general. I have never painted any miniatures in my life. Period, from any franchise. The hobby just never appealed to me, so I thought, why not give it a try and see if I could understand why people liked it so much. Normally when I do a build, I know what I'm doing, and if it's something new, I'll do as much research as possible beforehand. But in this case, I know nothing. I don't know if I'm using the correct paints, styles, applications, or finishes. Now there is a reason for this. As you saw at the start, I do have two mini kits. I thought it would be fun to do a second mini in a separate video, after I've done some research on styles, paintings, and see if I can get the hang of it, and then compare both the kits when they're both finished. As to why I chose Warhammer as my first minis, well, I'm a big fan of the lore of the Warhammer 40k, and it has quite an expansive story. With all that said, let's just sit back and enjoy the rest of the painting process. So what are my thoughts? Well, I still don't really understand miniature painting. One of the reasons making things is so gratifying, to me anyway, is because after all your hard work, at the end of the build, you're left with something that you have created yourself. But in this case, the painting aspect is quite enjoyable, and I'm sure I'll enjoy the next one as much as I did this one. But in the end, you're left with a tiny little model. I couldn't help but feel I would enjoy it more if it was a full-size model, but that defeats the whole purpose of it being a miniature. But for dipping my toes into the miniature painting world, I'm pretty happy with my results. Let me know if you guys like the finished paint job. So that's all for today's build. I hope you enjoyed it. Please remember to leave a like, subscribe if you haven't already, and leave a comment of something you would like to see done in a future build. Have a good one, guys.
I see you've made it to the end. Why don't you subscribe and check out some of our other builds? Go on, what are you waiting for?